particular section. Sana po nakapag-collaborate na kayo, especially those who is in group 1. So now it's already recording. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay? So PowerPoint. Please tell me if you could see it clearly. Can you see my PowerPoint clearly? Welcome to our class is the title.
Yes po, ma'am.
Po.
Yes
Yes
po,
po,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, reading view lang natin siya. Okay, so is it clear? I mean, naka-reading view ba siya? Full screen sa inyo? No.
Yes
Yes or
po.
no? Okay siya. Okay,
Yes.
so let's begin. Welcome to our class. This is our second meeting, but this is the first week of our meeting for a lecture week. So week 1 tayo kaya ito nandito. So this one, I hope that your class monitor have screenshot and took the attendance. So I hope nagawa niyo yon. Okay, so it's up to the class monitor on how he or she will record the said class. Let's now begin. What is the topic for your project? Actually, the hardest part for me is the group 1 because you will begin the you will begin. Okay, so yun na yun. You will begin eh. So that's why it's a little bit tough yun sa group 1. But don't get me wrong. Although you will discuss different theories, I don't want to be very boring about it. I hope that when I told you that we will have a podcast, you have already tried different podcasts or Spotify. There are free Spotify videos, and if you're familiar with that, any stories is available in podcast. And as of the moment, actually, I've been listening nowadays. Ano ba yung binabasa ko ngayon? Like, for example, this one, Stories After Dark. Ayan. So, Stories After Dark is just like this one. I don't know if you could hear. So it just shares different stories, usually murder stories ang napakikinggan ko, horror stories. I don't like love stories kasi I'm not a fan, but I'm hearing murder stories and whatsoever. So I'm not saying that you hear those things, but anything under the sun will do. So we could start. Now for this one, I want you to discuss all the theories relevant to the subject. You just need to give a glimpse or background about it and make sure that you will mention its importance to a children development. Wait lang, hindi ko i-mute ko lang yung ating manok. Saan na ang may manok? Wait lang. Tuntuha ka,
Yeah.
ikaw yung naka-open. Si Carlis. Teka. Okay. Put natin ang manok. Sino ba? Okay, wala na. Okay, request to join. Okay, wala sa atin si Christian. Ayan. So, it's fine, ano, nakakatuwa. I guess the reason why na open mic is not it intentional, but nahihirapan tayo kasi ako din, may times I forgot hindi ko namamalayan, especially if medyo sensitive yata yung phones natin, or yun. So, let's have this one. My dear students, don't get me wrong. If, for example, I want you to discuss this series, yung as in plainly discuss, di sana, hindi na ako nagpa-podcast. Sana, ang ginawa ko na lang, wait lang, kukuha lang ako ng unan at ang aso ko ay nahuhulog. Wait lang. Okay. Gusto niya magkatabi kami. Sige na, pwede ka mahulog. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to report. Di sana nagpa-report ako, di ba? Like for example, Freud's psychoanalytic theory. Freud's psychoanalytic theory is a blah, 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 blah. It means blah, blah, blah. My gosh, sana nagpa-report na lang ako kung gano'n. Hindi na ako nag-effort or I won't ask you to report about Freud's psychoanalytic theory anymore. And besides, I don't need you to report because that is our week 2 lesson. Bakit ko pa kayo para-reportin? What I want you to do for this project is give a glimpse, give a hint, and enjoy the process. Parang for example, kagaya ng sabi ko dun sa first group, what I want you is like parang kwentong hindi ako umiinom pero alam ko yung kwentuhan na nagiinuman kayo. Isn't it? Meron kayong topic, but even if you have just one topic, ang dami niyo siyang napupuntahan. And hindi lang kasi na nakikita ko yung mga different topics about sa mga inuman, hindi lang siya about stories eh. But it's about different life, parts of life. It's about politics. It's about anything under the sun, not just a cliche na inuman na walang kwenta. Hindi lang siya about love, hindi lang siya about people, but it's about everything under the sun. Kaya nga 'di ba, it's a little bit relaxing to some people. Well, I don't drink liquors, not because I am not allowed to, but I just don't like the taste. But I do drink coffee. So pwede rin naman siyang parang coffee session siya. Now, for the Freuds, how will you discuss this one? Of course, you will discuss this one in a way na, for example, um, Freud's psychoanalytic theory, kunwari kayo. So, nagdasig, hello everyone. So, this is group 1 and we are about to di ba minsan gano'n naman. So, it's up to you in how you will begin. We're about to discuss the different theories in education. I remember as a child, we've been growing up. Kunwari sa Freud psychoanalytical theory kayo. So, I remember when I was a child, my mother used to tell me, oh, di ba, ano siya, hindi mo siya sinabi na si Freud psychoanalytic theory, but rather, nagsimula ka dun sa stories about your childhood. And then, oh, for example, nagkaroon sa script yung isa naman. Yeah, I remember. I think that is Freud's psychoanalytic theory. I remember that in a psychoanalytic theory, the blah 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 blah. So maybe that's the reason why. Tas jump in yung isa magsasalita. Tas yung isa. So this is hanggang sa natapos nyo lahat ng theories without boring the readers na hala ano ba yung psychoanalytic theory. No, it's we are already, since this is a project, beyond na siya. After the theories na mabigat, hindi ko papadefine sa inyo. I will not ask you to do that. But rather, give examples na meron kayo. And you have a lot. Marami kayong tao dyan. Imposible naman na ni isa sa inyo, walang maiko-contribute sa A to F na different theories that I will ask you. Meron yan kahit isa. Now, it's up to the script creator kung paano niya siya ipapasok. So now, wait, I don't want you to read. Oh, you may or may not have an open camera. It's up to you. Uh, depende sa inyo. Kaya lang, of course, if you will not have a camera open, your voice must be DJ-like. Kaya you need to rehearse. Ayoko naman na sobrang ano. And of course, you will have engagements with your different ano. Kay first, oh, we have a question in the live session. Sabi niya, oy, pa-shout out naman. Well, it's fine. You could shout out. Kaya lang, wag naman maubos yung oras niya sa shout out. Kasi the maximum is only 1 hour. And you have a lot. Ma'am, kailangan po ba lahat kami tumulong? Kasi ang dami namin eh. Kailangan po ba lahat kami madinig? No, it's not. This is a podcast. It is a combination of all of the different senses nyo eh. So kasama dito yung maybe some of you are in charge of editing. Some of you in charge of sharing. Ayan, yung marketers nyo, for example, si math major, hindi kayo sanay talaga nun. You don't have this kind of English communication skill that good pa. Okay, so kayo naka-in charge sa pag-share. Nag-share kayo sa mga friends nyo, ayan, para yung project nyo, maraming tao ang makinig. Pwede yun. Pwede you could invite other people. Pwedeng sa sounds, pwedeng sa SFX, pwedeng content creator. Or, isn't it that meron tayong mga jokes? Pwede kayo, di ba? Some podcast, meron kayong little bit of commercial. So you could have a little bit of commercial. It's up to you. So this project is not just about this one. I want you to speak in English. I want to be comfortable with the language. I want you to inject different activities. This is something new, maybe new to you. At hindi ko kayo pinapaboring ng topic. Imagine niyo kung di-discuss nyo to na isang diretsyo. Hindi sana nag-lecture na lang tayo. Sana hindi ko naman kayo na-require na mag-report eh. So this is about what did you learn in the subject and how will you apply, or how, since you are already an adult, hindi niyo na siya kailangan balikan. But rather, babalikan na lang natin siya and re-relay niyo dun sa topic. Yun ang gusto kong mangyari. Yun ang gusto kong makita. Hindi ko kayo pinahihirapan. Ipinahihirapan in a sense na pagre-reportin pa. Ayoko ng boring. Pag boring yan, hindi kayo pwedeng masanay na laging boring. Kasi if ever na you report, ganito, nakakaantok yan. Parang hindi ilo-look forward ng tao. Hindi kayo magkakaroon ng community engagements and I mean, di ba? So yun yung point ko. Okay? It's not reporting. It's more on about just check podcasts, different podcasts and how they deal with their life. Yun, ganun po ang pinagagawa ko sa inyo. So by this time, sana meron na kayong idea. Sana nakipag-engage na kayo sa iba't ibang majors, especially the group 1. Now let's have the second group. Yung first group, medyo masasabi natin that you still have may theory pa eh. But yung group 2 to group 6, hindi na. Kasi sa group 2, discuss different stories during your prenatal stage. You will know what is a prenatal stage later on. Or you could do your research. Ano yon? You may interview your parent kasi nga, hindi wala ka pa nun eh, hindi mo pa alam. So prenatal stage ka pa lang. Parang baby ka pa lang nun. And from birth to conception pa lang yan. So the you still don't know it yet. Maybe you could, I don't know if you have the idea, kung may idea ka na kung ganon. So wala kayong, I do believe wala. So you could interview a guardian. Like for example, during the prenatal stage, okay, so now our topic is about prenatal stage. Ayan. So for example, nagdi-discuss na kayo. And then I remember when I was there's a study. Ayan. So wow, ang bigat, may study agad. There's a study from blah 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 blah. It said that pregnant women's during the conception, some pregnant women are using music to condition the mind of the brain, to condition the child. As you can see, I think that's very, any one of you, sabi, pwede nyo tanong, any one of you have this kind of activity with with your when your mom is pregnant with you or with your brothers and sisters. Since luckily baka meron. Yes, I remember my mother, she used to tell me that she was using this earphone, so and she's placing it in her belly. So I guess I am inclined, but kunwari may effect sa'yo. And she's using classical music, and I guess nowadays I prefer classical music over rock music, and it helps because pwede ka mag-relay na experience kasi hindi ko pa naman na-try. Alam ko hindi ako ginanon ng nanay ko, so I cannot relate for that. So sometimes naman, and you know, there are the environment of, kasi nga alam natin na environment ng bata, kunwari, for example, the environment is not good. Are you familiar with the happy mom? For example, the cravings. Ayan, pwede nyo i-discuss yan, the cravings. It has something to do with blah, 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 blah. So, anything under the prenatal stage, pwede nyo siyang i-discuss. Iba't ibang stories yan. It's up to you. Pwede rin kayo mag-storytelling. Parang kabanata, 9, 2. Parang gano'n, pwede kayong gumawa ng story para hahalo talaga eh. Wala akong iniano sa inyo. Everything is possible. Ang kailangan nyo lang is your creativity. At creativity ng bawat grupo. Pwede kayong gumawa ng story sa susunod. Pero nga ganun, di ba? Pwedeng gumawa kayo ng skit na pa-role playing. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. Kung napanood nyo to sa mga radyo na gumagawa siya ng different story. Lalo na doon sa last part. Lalo na yung last group. Pwede yung mga group 6 because I will show you why. Next, group 3 is the preschooler. So dito, pwede kayo mag-discuss about everything that happened during preschool. So you could, actually, the good thing about this group, this part is you could say your experiences with your classmate and also your experiences with, which was discussed to you by your parents. Like for example, I will share, for example, I'll be part of your podcast, and I remember my classmate, her name is Princess, and whenever she comes to school, she doesn't want to go to school. Grabe yun. Okay. So alam niyo ito, pwede kayo maging konyo. Kasi I am requiring to speak in English, but a little glimpse of Filipino. So grabe yun, pare. Pero wag naman ganun, ano? Hindi naman konyo. Hindi naman konyo. Kaya lang, it's part of the expression din kasi. So, grabe yun. Princess is a very tall girl. One of my tallest classmates. And whenever, during I forgot to say, whenever her parents will bring her inside of the class, talagang hinahatak siya nung teacher namin. And nagwawala siya, she's been crying, and everything. So now, you know the good thing about what happened after that? Princess is now a teacher. An elementary teacher there in our school. So it's very ironic because when she was younger, she doesn't want to do that. And now she is a teacher, an elementary teacher. Imagine that. Tapos kwento naman yung isa, yeah, I remember, when I was kid, grabe, naalala ko dati, natai ako. O minsan ganon, di ba? Pwede mo, natai ako. Hindi ko siya makakalimutan because everybody's laughing at me. And that is why nowadays, whenever I hear, whenever I, pwede yun eh. Kasi nung natai ka, tapos pinagtawanan ka ng classmate mo. And then that's the reason why, until now, and hindi ko talaga masabi na natatay ako kasi I am very afraid that pwedeng gumaganon siya, umiikot yung story mo. Or for example, um, I remember anything, pwede nyo i-discuss siya in the preschooler stage. So, everything under the sun, ayun na di-discuss nyo. Group 4 naman, primary schooler siya. So, middle child na kayo. So, from preschool to primary school, elementary days. Ayan, you could now discuss everything about you na. Ito na kayo, hindi na kayo mahihirapan dito because you may discuss different toys, your favorite toys. Pare, how did you know that yung mga memes natin, how do you know that your classmate is rich during elementary days? So sabi, ay, ano, yung she has this set of coloring materials na isang malaki tapos kumpleto yon. Oh, the rollers, the bags, grabe, gustong-gusto ko. I really love to have, ayun, you know, 'di ba? Parang tingnan niyo yung project niyo. Hindi siya mahirap. Marami lang kasi kayong taong i-collaborate. But you will just share your stories in English. Yun lang. And also, I want you to have the DJ-like voice. Para masarap siyang pakinggan. Kasi ang pangit nung at saka gusto ko simultaneous. Hindi yung, okay, I get, hindi gano'n. Ang corny niyo, you are a teacher and then hindi niyo kayang magsalita ng gano'n. So, please make sure that simultaneous siya. Yung parang every time that you will hear, oh my God, nakakatawa. Parang akong syunga. And even you could share that, uy, classmate, I will be sharing our stories ha. Please listen to our. Tas pwede nyo itag yung mga classmate nyo na i-share nyo yung story. Walang yaka. Bakit, di ba, parang, bakit mo kinuwento yun? Okay, so, tas tinag yun. Di ba? That's what I'm telling you. This one, the group 5 is the intermediate schooler. So, late childhood, same. And group 6, this one, high school learner. Ayan, pwede nyo ikwento yung love stories ninyo. Ayan, dahil you're still fresh kayo dahil first year kayo, you could still, sorry, we could have our lesson for our discussion for today is about high school. I remember my puppy love. Grabe. Nandyan yung first kiss, first mga ganun. Pwede nyo siya kwento if you are okay with that, okay? Please, you could tell stories na, ay, sorry. Naalala ko yung first kiss ko. Grabe. Pwedeng ganun eh. I remember when I was in high school, I was very ashamed about my blah blah blah. And then. So everything under the sun, yan. Kaya yung group 2 to 6, kung totoo lang, masaya siya. Kasi wala siyang theories. You'll really just discuss your life. Yung group 1, at least you have a focus. You will discuss theories and also related theories yan. So at least kayo, sino ba dito yung may experience ng ganito, ganyan. So you will do a little bit of research kasi kayo yung pioneers. Yun lang yung magiging hirap. But the rest is good. Now, how will I grade you is of course how you presented it. More on about the presentation. At syempre, kailangan maayos, hindi pwede yung nakakaloka. Okay, so yun lang. So now, I'll ask you different questions now. Wait lang. May question po ba kayo? May question po ba kayo? Anyone?
None so far, ma'am.
Okay, so nagkakaroon na kayo ng idea. You have, okay? Meron na, okay na ha? Okay, sige. Okay. Shall we begin our class na? So we're already done. Now let's have topics to be discussed. So what are different lessons? So part 1, this would be for this week. So we'll be discussing unit 1, and then we will have module 1, 2, and 3. Then next week, next meeting, the week 2, we'll have the unit 2 and part 1 and unit 2 part 2. The following unit 3, then unit 4, and then unit 5 with 6. So those are the different lessons that we will have. So I will be uploading this, don't worry, and let us discuss. Now, let us now begin with the basic concepts and issues on human development. So unit 1 tayo. Now, what do you think will be their future? So let's have here Zia Dantes and Michael, a public school student. Based on what, let's have a guess. Okay. Of course, we still don't know their future yet, but I want to ask you, what do you think will be their future? Compare the two. Okay, so may I start. Okay. Anyone, you could raise your hand for our first recitation, or you could chat your answer in the chat box. Hala, di na kayo nag-recite. Anyone? What do you think will be their future? Okay. Thank you, Evangeline, actress and president of the Philippines. Si actress yung isa, president yung isa. Okay. Future cosplayer, I think, um, mother then. Okay. Future model, teacher, and actress, a model, and a teacher. Actress and a teacher. Okay, teacher daw. Let's have Gilmer. Gilmer, how about you?
Yung sa babae po, ma'am, I think po role model, and yung sa lalaki po na bata, businessman po.
Oh, why do you say so? May I ask? Bakit yun ang naisip mo?
Ma'am, kasi po yung bata po, anak po ng artista po, si
Okay.
Marian po. Tapos yung bata naman po, guess ko lang po kasi po,
Yes,
lahat
it's fine.
naman po pwede maging businessman.
Okay, that's a good one. So, based on, well, nowadays, anyone could be a businessman. Okay, that's a good one. Mas nakakaangat si Zia because of her parents and probably magiging future celebrity. So, most of us are already telling that Zia will become an actress and some will become a teacher naman, the guy. Bakit kaya? Why teacher? Why do you think teacher? Businessman, I've already heard from Gilmer. But how about the others? Bakit teacher? Bakit si Michael ay magiging teacher? This is a good one, ha? Sige nga. Bakit? Anyone from the group? Especially those who said that Michael will become a teacher? Yes, Jenine.
Yes, ma'am. Based po sa picture, based on the picture, siguro po kasi it seems like he's having fun learning
Okay.
in the picture na nagsusulat po siya, tapos he's smiling. So I think in the near future, he can enjoy more things po na parang sa pagtuturo, ganun, if ever. So, I think po, he has a future in becoming a teacher.
Okay. How about someone raise their hand? Di ko na tinanggal niya. Thank you, Janine. Letter R yata yung simula ng pangalan niya. Uh, Rachel. Ayun, Rachel para Rachel. How about you?
Hello po, ma'am. I think po, just like Janine said, he is enjoying studying, and maybe in the near future he can be able to share it with others po.
Okay. So it seems that the most of you, but this is a good one, Marivic, can be a great director. So we know that most of you have have guessed that Zia will become a future actress like her parents, or a model, or a cosplayer, because she could do both. Maybe because of the parents' background. I thought kaya niya sinabi na Michael will become a teacher kasi ma'am, the teacher's tuition fee is cheaper than the others. I thought that's what you will say. But it's good that you based on how you view him, you think that he enjoys learning. O nga, no? During his age, maybe, tingnan niyo naman yung mga classmate niya, parang hirap na sa buhay, pero siya ay chill lang. So, we could say that it's a good observation. The attitude of the kid towards the learning. We've guessed differently because of our experiences, and sometimes because we know that the environment plays a vital role in the child's learning. Isa yun sa tinitingnan natin. And that's why every time that we will have these things, parang sabi natin, for example, nakita natin about, ay, okay, magiging ano ito because she's like this one. That's why when we saw that, oh, what happened to you? I thought you will become parang ganun because of the things. Okay? But of course, this is still a guess. Even if Zia nowadays have a secured future, we still don't know if time will come after 20 years, if Zia will really become an artist, a very successful artist, or Michael will become someone maybe more successful. Diba? We still don't know yet. But it's nice to think about their future, diba? Now, human development. It is a pattern of movement or change that begins at the conception and continues through the lifespan. Development includes growth and decline. This means the development can be positive or negative. Human development, again, is from the conception. We are developing physically little by little, and then until the end. Okay, so some people believe that we still develop. Of course, we develop. Hindi lang pala some people, we develop. Kaya lang, it's still part of the development if, for example, nagne-negate na siya. Development pa rin yun. Kasi there's a change. Even for example, sa pagtanda, from before you are a very strong 20-year-old student to a not so strong 80-year-old lolo and lola. So it's still the same. It's still development. It's part of life. At the end of the lifespan, nagde-develop pa din tayo. There's some major principles of human development. One, development is relatively orderly. We have the proximodistal pattern. It is where growth starts at the center of the body and moves towards the extremities. An example of such pattern is the early development of muscular control of the trunk and arms, and then hands to the fingers. Later I will discuss. And we also had the cephalocaudal development, refers to growth and development that occurs from the head down and consists of development starting at the top of the body and working its way down from head to the feet. With what this means is that the development of the head and brain tends to be more advanced in the sense that it occurs first than the rest of the body. So this pattern is largely complete by the beginning of adulthood through the course of other aspects the development goes through life. So when we say proximodistal development, it is in baby B. In the baby B, magsisimula tayo in the middle until hindi magde-develop siya pababa ng pababa. From the muscle, pababa sa hands and feet. Now, the reason why we're doing this, the reason why it's like that, di ba makikita natin that kaya this part sa kamay, late siyang nagde-develop. That's why we have, during elementary days, the students usually uses big crayons kasi hindi pa nila kayang, they cannot, that's why it's very wrong that the parents are buying color pencils. Hindi pa, it's not yet the time. What they could use kasi hindi pa siya develop is a big crayon so that there would be an easy grip. They are still learning how to draw and how to complete. That's why during the coloring sessions, isn't it, lagpas-lagpas sila eh. Kasi hindi nila kaya talaga, hindi siya ganun kalakas. Lagpas-lagpas sila. That's why during the coloring session, the teacher will guide the students, dapat papasok. Okay, check the lines. Dapat hindi siya masyadong lagpas. So from ganon-ganon, hindi dahil clip nila, but rather it's hard for them to control it hanggang sa paliit ng paliit. So that's it. And also, different activities, that's why important yung ginagamit nila. I remember one of my colleagues, I saw her, and then nakita ko yung ano niya, yung um ang ginagamit niyang laro with her students is, are you familiar with the sipit? Yung sipit, sabi ko, oh, why sipit? Kasi yung ano, yung kamay nila, motor skills nila, yung sa kamay nila, kailangan matuto silang magpindutin yun para siya bumuka and then gagano. Yun ang ginalaro nila, pinapalaro nila sa bata. So because of the motor skills, it's very important. So ito, kamay, grab, grab, grab. Also, some schools, especially if for example yung school niya ay Singapore more on playing. Nagbe-bake sila pero of course naghahalo-halo. Lahat yan inaano nila, naghahalo-halo sila ng foods, nagmamasa-masa ng konti. So because they want to develop the hands. Now, with the cephalocaudal naman, it's from the head down sa baba. That's why the first thing that we usually that we could observe is that it's late, medyo late bago makatayo yung bata. Compared to the recognition of different things, late siya bago tumayo kasi mas nauna to. And sometimes, the head is really bigger than some of the parts of the body. Mabigat to, malaki siya masyado. And a little by little, makikita niyo, if you will research for cephalocaudal, ang laki ng head, pababa ng, medyo nagiging proportion siya. So, yun. Because it's the first one to develop, and then yung dulo, yung sa baba, yung sa paa, hindi. Now, while the pattern of development is likely to be similar, the outcomes of development process and the rate of development are likely to vary among individuals. Like for this one, the environment is a home-loving and caring versus the deprived environment. The reason why there are some kids who has a hard time, hindi sila masyadong okay, because factor kasi talaga yung better family. Now, some kids, they have a good future. For example, kaya nga iba-iba eh. For example, yung family niya is a very loving, very supporting, and nandun talaga, you don't need to wish anything. As in, okay sila sobrang mapagmahal. Compared to a person, for example, the family is not good. The mother and the father keeps on fighting. They did not file for divorce and whatsoever, but still they are fighting inside the house, which was always heard by the kid. So makaka-apekto yun sa kanya. Or maybe naman, the split of the family, at meron siyang nagkaroon siya ng ano sa anak. Like, especially for example, naiwan si anak, nag-asawa pareho yung magulang niya, and then ayaw i-keep siya ng either ng parents niya. Napunta siya sa lolo, not because he wants it or she wants it, but because it's the family. No one wants to be with her anymore or with him anymore. That's why we will have different area. Magkaiba yun. Magkakaroon siya ng effect sa bata. And the sad thing about this one is that the split of some parents, they keep on saying, dapat alam mo na yan, dapat kayanin mo yan. Parang ginaganon dun sa bata. But of course, it's still a process. Okay? So, but there are people who even came from a happy and loving home, meron silang nagiging problem. And may mga iba naman din that came from a deprived home that they turn out to be fine. So it depends pa din. This is just it development is very different from others. That's why it's hard to us to say na, oh, kung ako yan, hindi. Yan ang lagi, wag niyo sasabihin kasi anytime kung ako yan kasi you will never be her. You will never be him. Kasi hindi mangyayari yung kung ako. Hindi mangyayari yon. That's that's part that you cannot do it. You cannot say that to a person kasi you will never be that. You don't have the same ideas, you don't have the same brain, you don't have the same development, so it cannot say kung ako. Okay? So yeah. Next is development takes place gradually. So little by little, like for example, you are in the process of exercise, isn't it? So nag-exercise ka ng ng 2 araw, tapos sabi mo, "Ala, ba't di ako pumapayat?" So unti-unti siya. Hindi siya yung overnight. So same with the development as well. The brain, hindi siya basta-basta, it takes place. Next, development is a process is complex because of the product of biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional process according to Santrock 2002. For example, this one, biological process, physical, everything that is physical in you. It could be hormonal changes, isn't it? As you grow old, women, nagkakaroon tayo ng hormonal changes. Nag-iba-iba tayo ng mood. We tend to be very when it comes to PMS, PMS well is after. So before the beginning of the menstruation, nag-iiba yung mood swings. So you're craving for salty, na sweet, like that. Yun, that's part of it. So sa men, some of you change the voice from boses ng batang lalaki to a manly voice. Well, some of you hindi nag-evolve. Sad to say, hindi nag-evolve ng iba, but still, it's part of the change. Okay, some of you, ang laki ng sabi mo, bakit ang laki ng boses mo? Diba? It change. So part of it, that is biological process. So everything that is physical. Cognitive naman, of course, this is not tangible. It's a change in thought, intelligence, and language. Because of different exposure that you will have different cognitive process. Kahit pare-pareho kayo, even if you're classmates for 4 years, you will have different cognitive process. Like for example, okay, I will ask you a question. Sige. This is not a debate, but rather just answer this question. Many many people nowadays think that divorce is okay. So is it okay if you answer okay or not okay? Sige, you type it in chat box. Okay, not. I will not ask you why. Just okay or not okay for your next recitation. Sige. Is divorce okay? Yes or no? Okay, thank you, Jenin. Oh, ayan, ayan, nahalo na. Thank you. Okay, not okay, no, okay, no, okay, 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 okay. Ayan. Kathleen, what is 9999999K? Hindi na okay. Ay, pag nabuo yung 5, hindi na okay. Okay, okay, not okay. So please continue answering. Now, I've been seeing your answers and some of you said okay and not okay. You have different reasons. I will not ask you, of course. And this will only take for okay, sorry. Okay, now, Ma'am, bakit okay? So, I will not ask you why kasi we will have a debate. And I don't want you to have a debate because this class, we respect everyone's opinion. Okay? We respect, thank you. It's okay, Kathleen. Ano, wag ka masyadong kabado. Okay lang yan. Okay. So, it's okay. If that's what you feel, if that's what you want, it's, sorry ha, nahuhiblapan ako maghanap ng language editor. Okay, so it's okay if that's what you want. It's okay if that's not what you want. You have reasons. That's what I want to tell you. You have reasons. Wag na kayo mag-debate. Bakit hindi okay sa'yo? Bakit okay sa'yo? You have your reasons. That's it. Although you are in the same age range, you have different opinions. You have different thinking. You have different experience. You have different knowledge. That's why it's different. Yan yung sa cognitive development natin. And we could also say, as part of it, is your decision. Who do you think you will vote this election? Diba? Some of you will vote this president. Some of you will not vote for this president. And even if you tell them, here is the reason why you should not vote this president. Here's the reason why you should vote this president. You still have different cognitive process. Some of you will change your mind, some of you will not. Kasi nga, you have different process. Social-emotional process naman is the relationships with other people, emotions, and personality. Okay? So it means na this part, we cannot tell you, for example, you have different takes when it comes to relationships. Some of you, it's okay for them to have this kind of toxic relationships. I do have to agree there are some people who accepted this kind of relationships because for them it's okay. It's tough love, they're challenged and they are growing in this kind of toxic relationship. But to some people, they care less. There are different relationships. I do not believe, again, I do not believe that us, okay, us, that friendships, it is said that the more daw na tumatanda ka, the more na nawawala yung friends. And kapag hindi daw nawawala ang friends, hindi ka nagmamature. For me, that's not always true. As you grow older, there are really friends talaga na makukuha mo from elementary down to until now, until. Kasi some people, your bond during elementary, yung pang nakahanap ka talaga ng matinong kaibigan during elementary, meron kang set ng high school, may set ka ng college, may set ka ng undergrad, meron talaga eh. Kasi you have found them okay with who you are. You grow old together. It's just so happen that as you grow old, you now remember that not all people are your friends. It's sort of you have categorized it. Na-categorize mo siya na, this people is not my friend. But it doesn't mean you will lose. Of course, in the journey of process, you will lose friends. But it doesn't mean na puro lose lang. Pwede kang nadadagdagan ng friends. Because sometimes, there are friends in which you have friends that is financially helpful for you. Hindi ko sinasabing inutangan, but rather, yung mind mo when it comes to financial aspects, financial goals, sa kanila mo siya nakukuha. Business things, sa kanila mo siya nakukuha. Sort of, pwede rin naman, about sa life, because this kind of friends, yung business friends mo, they don't get you, but it's fine. It's perfectly fine. You could have your friends. Your friend, other friends. Nakakategorize mo lang siya. So, the socio-emotional process of you is different. Kasi, ang negative kasi nung you're losing your friends eh. If they're your friends, you will not lose them. Unless you have a big problem. Like for example, natawa ko dyan eh. What if, for example, ikaw talaga may problema? Like you have the worst attitude problems. You're very bitch to everyone around you. tapos nakita mo yung quote na yon, tapos you will feel that everyone around, I don't blah 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 them, but you're the one who needs to change how you talk with your friends, how you tell your friends, maybe you're the toxic one. And because you saw this kind of quote, you thought that they're the toxic one. But actually it's you. And you need to change. Why? If for example, hindi na siya helpful for you. We change stuff not because it's okay for us. We change things because it's not already working. Yun yun. So the social emotional process, the relationships that you have, some of them strengthen. Minsan magugulat kayo. Yung mga magka-friends na ngayon, hindi kayo friends, but when you saw each other, magiging friends kayo. 'Di ba? So it depends eh. Parang each year that it became very different. As you grow older, it's different. Your social emotional process and sometimes your emotions. That's why when you were younger, yung emotions natin yan, dapat yan, sana nailalabas na natin. And then little by little nako-correct ng magulang natin or na nakakatanda sa atin. I'm not saying na hinahadlangan, but rather nako-correct. For instance, nagtatantrums ang bata. Now, it's fine na malabas nila yung emotions nila. However, what you could do is you could help them, uy, anak, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry. But, of course, life is full of disappointments. And I'm not saying na wag mo siyang ilabas, but rather, think of other people as well na baka mamaya nasasaktan. Like for example, yung gagawin mo na you need to balance everything out. Hindi ka pwedeng magwala dyan kasi may ibang mga tao, like especially if you are in the church, who's there because they want to have they want to rest, they want to breathe, to talk to the Lord. Tapos nagwawala ka dyan. Is it good? Kasi kulang eh. Minsan, labas mo yung emotion mo, tapos nagwala ka sa church. Tama ba yun? Kasi what happened? Pag hindi marunong, I'm not saying to control yung talagang wag mong ilabas. Mali naman yun. Kasi pag hindi mo siya inalabas, nakasumabog ka. Mas malala. But what you could do is help the kids to understand na it's okay, pwede kang, for example, masama ang loob mo, you could go out. Kasi the problem with that is kapag kunwari sinabi mo lang sa bata, sige anak, ilabas mo yung emotion mo. You have the right to, what about the consequences afterwards? Sana kung lahat ng tao maiintindihan nila yung bata. No eh. And as a future professional, kailangan matuto kang magbalanse ng bawat, 'di ba? Gusto ba natin, like for example, magkaroon tayo ng boss, nahihiyain tayo sa harap ng estudyante natin? This is what I'm telling you eh. Ganto ako eh. Sabi niya, boss ako eh. Parang ganon, di ba? Kasi hindi nila kayang kontrolin yung emotion nila. And then pinahiya kayo. Do you think it's good? Of course it's not. That's why at a very young age, the child needs to know a proper ways on how they could control it. Okay, so yun. Questions to reflect on. A person changed during childhood to adolescent. A person changed even if it's already an adult. My question for you today is, before we proceed with our next lesson, is that, um, do you think that a person could change? The person still changes until they are adult, or do you think hanggang bata lang sila pwedeng magbago? So that's my first, the next question for you. Okay, I'll be checking your answers. Okay, hanggang adult. Okay, thank you, Jopani. How about the others? Can change if it is adult. Okay, thank you. Justin, Jasper, Alexandra, John. Okay. So most of us still changes even if kahit matanda na hanggang adult. Okay. The adults hanggang adult. Okay. So say continue answering. So most of you said hanggang adult kaya. Okay. So there are two approaches to human development. And luckily, all of you, tinitignan ko, constant change, so doesn't stop, bata lang, we can still change. Okay. So Janine said she could change. I hope our class manager is recording everything. Okay, kayang-kaya ni class manager yan. Okay, hanggang adult, hanggang adult, hanggang adult. Okay, so there are different approaches to human development. We have the traditional development. You know, since no one told me rather na they cannot, okay, extensive change from birth to adolescent, naniniwala sila na hindi na. Only little change na lang, hindi na kaya ng adult. You cannot teach old dogs new tricks. They keep on saying that. But there are other people who believes in lifespan development. Even in adulthood, developmental change takes place. Number one, you are not a dog. You are a person. A dog is a rational a dog is not a rational being. It is a behavior. Behavior kasi ang aso. You need to train it, behavior niya. But a person is not a dog. Kaya nga ang gara nung quote na yun eh. Can change to on old dog new trick. Kasi bakit does that mean that you are already an adult? Hindi ka na dapat magbago? Of course you need to change as well. It's part of the life. Na porkit ba yung bata may mga makabago silang nalaman, isa-stop mo na yan. Alam ko na yan. Papunta ka pa lang, pabalik na ako. Maybe po magkaiba tayo ng way. Kasi it really happens. Like for example, they cannot judge you anymore when it comes to using this life. For example, ayan, I remember, there was a kid na parang galit na galit yung nanay niya kasi, anak, hindi ka makakapag-aral kapag kunwari load ka ng load ng kung ano-ano. But to some people, it's helpful. Some study, it's helpful. May studies na helpful yon. But to some, hindi ini. Kasi this is a different, different phase na tayo. More on the technology na talaga tayo. And now, you are now learning. Dati, sabi natin, hindi ka matututo, hindi kami matututo pag online class. Pero natututo kayo eh. Natututo kayo. And now you have the access, not just in local, but also international. May mga certificates kayo from international. I hope meron na. Before, ano lang ang certificate nyo? Ano lang yung pwede nyong atinan? Yung face-to-face na seminar na ang nakapirma ay presidente lang ng klase. But now, hindi. Ang nakapirma na ay international people, CEO, DepEd na. Okay, so ang layo na. So it change. Things change. Sabi nyo nga, anything, the only constant in this world is change. So you should know na balikan nyo tong lecture na to. And I'm telling you, please do learn how to change. Kasi there are some people, even if they're a student, even if they are just a toddler, they could change you. They could teach you something. Be teachable. You are a teacher and you should be teachable as well. In the lifespan development, it is said that development is lifelong. Development is multidimensional, hindi siya one-directional. Development is plastic. You can develop anywhere. Kaya ba pwede nating i-mold ang plastic? Anything, so you could be developed well. Now, some of you, you will have different experience, I believe, math and science majors. Kahit magkaka-major kayo. Some of you will be in the field of research. Some of you will become a businessman. Some of you will not become a teacher. And you will have different development as you go along. And that doesn't mean na mali. Doesn't mean na isa yung tama. We still don't know yet. Development is contextual. Development involves in growth, maintenance, and regulation. Ang atin ay mine-maintain. Hindi lang ang weight, but rather everything around us. It should be maintained. Principles of child development and learning that inform practice. Sabi dito, all the domains of development and learning, physical, social, and emotional, and cognitive, are important and they are closely related. They are parallels. Yung physical natin nag-iiba, biological natin nag-iiba, same as with our social development with other people, and also the emotional state. Hindi man sila, kanya-kanyang development siya, but it is closely related, especially if we are referring to one person. Diba? And some of the behaviors that we have is a result of what happened to our change, our development. Many aspects of children's learning and development follow well-documented sequences with later abilities, skills, and knowledge building on those already acquired. Development and learning proceed at varying rates from child to child. So you cannot compare. Like for example sa akin, you cannot be compared to anyone kasi ako I became when I was younger I thought that after graduating in college it's already done. But now, I'll change. Hindi lang pala okay ang master's. Hindi lang pala okay kahit doctorate degree ka na. It's not yet enough for me. But to some people, they're already settled. And it's fine. It's fine from them. So it depends eh. When we will ask me, I will not, I'm not a study person type. Hindi ako yon. But now it's different. I change because of the environment that I have nowadays. It's different from what I have before. The people around me before are just people, normal people, but now it's different. It's like I need to, well, I want to have a promotion, so I need to have better rates and whatsoever. Yeah. Development learning result from dynamic and continuous interaction of biological maturation and experience. So it's a continuous interaction with your students. The more you are exposed to these factors, the more you will develop. For example, sa experiences natin. Nowadays, yung mga dinidiscuss sa inyo sa mathematics, yung dinidiscuss sa inyo sa science, the major subjects that you have, you know, ang sa hirap niyan. Ang hirap. Ang bigat. But, if you will become a teacher, sabi mo sa estudyante, Diyos ko naman, nakailang turo na ako, ba't hindi mo pa alam? Okay. Kasi sanay na sanay ka na eh. You are used to what you're doing. And for you, it's just easy. And now you could understand, bakit ako? But bakit hindi nyo maintindihan? It is because they're not yet exposed. They are you when you were younger. It took you time. Eh ngayon kasi araw-araw mo, like for example kayo, for you, mathematical table is not easy to memorize. It took you time. It took you, siguro kung if you're not that brainiac like others, it took you 3, 4, 5 days to memorize the multiplication table. But now, tanong ka, since araw-araw mo siyang nakikita, 9 times 9, 81. 9 times 7, ganito, ganyan. So it's just normal. Para ka na lang humihinga. Kasi it's just that's just a very simple explanation for that. Kasi you're used to. Unlike during the first time you heard it, it's not. Same goes with the different interactions sa atin. Kaya din it happens na the toxic relationship became a very natural one. Kasi na-immune ka na. Na ganun yun eh. Normal lang pala. Normal lang to. Parang normal day in my life. Okay, it happens. Early experiences have profound effects both in cumulative and delayed on a child's development and learning. I remember I have a student, napahiya siya ng klase niya because she was not listening, nakikipagdaldalan siya, and until now, naiiyak siya every time that she's doing public speaking. The reason why those students or those kids that was abused in the family, may it be sexual or physical or whatever abuse that they need therapy. Kasi yung mga hindi na therapy, nagkakaroon sila ng problema. And sometimes, nalaman na lang nila that they have a problem when they're already old. Sometimes naman, it took time talaga, tas bumabalik-balik din during that time. I remember one of the best stories that I have is Vicky Bello. Her mother doesn't want her. Her biological mother. Pinaampun siya sa mga Bello. And because it was said na pag ito ay babae na naman, ayoko na. Parang ipapamigay yung bata kasi marami na silang magkakapatid. Pero pag lalaki, kukunin niya. So dahil nga siya, Vicky Bello is a woman, baby girl siya, iniwan siya sa incubator tapos umalis na yung nanay niya. Hindi daw siya nahawakan ng nanay niya. And you know what happened is, well, she's very happy with her foster parents. However, parang yung career daw niya sa plastic surgery, yung ginagawa niya ngayon, that is a turf for male doctors. Talagang parang iba daw yung kompetensya niya sa lalaki. Parang until now, pag lalaki yung usapan, nakakompetensya, hindi boylet. Parang na ano siya, hindi, kailangan alam ko to. Parang she's very competitive. which is a result of what happened when she was young. Nung nadinig niya yung story na yun, tumatak sa kanya, and she was not happy about it. Na hanggang ngayon, dala-dala niya, even she's already old. So as you could see, from that moment on until now. Diba? 6, development proceeds towards greater complexity, self-regulation, and symbolic or representational capacities. We have, one of the reasons why we cannot say na, uy, bakit ako ganito lang? Okay lang sa akin, ganyan, ganyan. For me, in my case, there are some things, for example, I remember I do not have a great time during my first year of teaching. Every time that I could see before, I just paano ba to? I just move on this year lang. So matagal na yon. So I have been teaching for almost 7 years. So first year of teaching ko yon right after I graduated from college. Tapos ngayon lang ako yung talaga naka-move on na I'm okay. So it's so long. Every time I'm there in that same place, parang init. I hate it. But to some people who enjoy their stay in that place, every time they say, "Oh, kamis, ang happy ko." Parang ganon. So it's different. That is just a place. But sometimes it has something to do with events. Like Vicky Bello, she hates her birthday. Everyone who knows her very well knows that whenever she doesn't want to be greeted, she doesn't want to have party, hindi dahil maarte siya kasi it reminds her that she was not chosen by her mother, her biological mother. Ano sabihin mo sa kanya? Diyos ko naman, napaka-arte mo eh. Eh, buti nga, napunta ka sa Belo, ayan tuloy, maganda na buhay mo ngayon. You cannot tell that to a person. You can never tell that to a person. Please do not be like that. You are future teachers, so your understanding must be broad. Wag naman masyadong ano, kasi there's some people like that. Some people, I remember I have a student, para lang makita nyo, so na iba-iba. The student ko naman, napahiya siya. She passed her project. Pinahiya siya nung prof niya. Ano siya, elementary. Elementary, tas lumipat siya sa school namin, sa second school namin. Winwork out nung advisor niya na she could start passing the project. Pag project ay by group, nagpapasa siya. But if it is by individual, kahit ang grade niya from line of 9 magiging 7, wala siyang pakialam. Hindi niya kayang magpasa. Fourth year na siya. Fourth year, fourth grading siya nagpasa ng project. So imagine the effect of what happened in the past may affect yan sa future. And you cannot say, ang arte mo. Hindi. You need to accept that each of these have different representation to the others. And you cannot you cannot say that ang arte. Hindi siya maarte. Hindi mo kasi siya naranasan. So you cannot contribute. You cannot give comments to these things. Number 7. Children develop best when they have secure, consistent relationship with responsive adults and opportunities for positive relationships with peers. That's why those people, I now understand why some parents, they're really guiding their kids na, sino may mga kaibigan niya? And every time that you will have an adult na hindi siya maayos, kinukuha siya ng DSWD. Kasi you will not, alam niyo mangyayari, if this continues, it will be a problem of the government in the later on. Baka mamaya, this person will become an addict, this person will become ganito, ganyan. Kasi ang pangit ng kanyang background. So it's very important that the background of the student is nurtured. Hindi yun sa pag-iinarte, but rather, a child needs love, support, and care for responsive adults. Kasi mamamali siya eh. Mamamali siya ng tingin eh. Akala niya, okay lang. Okay lang pala na ganito. Okay lang na nagbubugbugan yung parents ko. Okay lang pala na nagbumurahan kami ng mga magkakapatid. Okay lang pala na ganito. Okay lang pala na ganyan. So actually, it's not okay. And okay lang pala. Kasi I remember, this is, well, a story of my mother. Her father kasi, nagtitipid sila daw. So, when she was younger, kinukuha daw siyang parang sa gala. Tapos ang sabi sa kanya ng father, ng ano niya, kinukuha niya yung pangit niyan. Now, well, that's very sad. And until now, my mother parang shook siya parang pag sinasabi, "Hey, you look beautiful today." Huh? Parang ganun. Kasi nabasag siya. And ang layo na, my mother is already almost 65 years old this December. So, adults, even if yung beautiful, kahit hindi maganda yung anak nyo, sabihin nyo na, ang ganda-ganda mo anak, you look so fresh, anak, ganito ka, you know, it's very important to the kid. Hindi na si binibaby nyo sila, but rather if you could, kahit hindi nyo sa bigyan ng material things, but your words, your actions towards the kid, it's very important for them. 8. Development and learning occur in are influenced by multiple social and cultural contexts. Some of which, magkakaiba kayo eh. You came from different, kaya mahirap mag-asawa. You came from different family, you came from different cultures and backgrounds, and now you will merge with your husband, future husband and wife. Diba? It's really hard. So, it depends. That's why, bakit ganyan ka? Bakit ganyan? Ah, ganyan sa inyo. Ah, okay. Kasi sa amin, hindi ganyan. So, not just in the words but rather in the actions as well. Always mentally active in seeking to understand the world around the children in a variety of ways. And of course, number 10 is play is an important vehicle for developing self-regulation. Playing is important. Playing with other people is important, more important than that. Because they know how to interact. They know how to socialize. Unlike kung magpi-play lang siya, naku, kailangan kasi siya talaga, when you're rearing a child, tsatsagain mo siya. Like, for example, you need to know how to share. The value of sharing, the value of unity, the value of teamwork. Unti-unti siya because it builds the self-confidence so that the kid could learn how to talk to other people in a better way. Magiging good communicator sila. Kasi pag kunwari, you only build the wall, huwag kang mag-share, huwag kang ganyan, huwag kang ganyan, huwag kang ganyan. Like, what will happen to the kid is, it will build wall. And this wall, mahirap na siyang tibagin kapag matanda na siya. Nagiging weird na siya sa paningin ng iba, and it will cause to bullying. That's why the students should know, and also in life, we need to be more persuasive. We need to learn how to connect. Hindi dahil naggagamitan tayo, but let's face the fact. We need linkages in our life. We need bridges to help us with different things that we need in life. Like, for example, you will have a business. You need to know how to connect to other people. For example, you want to have a job. You need to know how to connect with other people. That's why we need during playtime, dito nila na ano yan. That's why hindi kayo kailangan galit agad. Dapat, you would be, hindi kayo dapat galit agad. Mali yan, mali yan, mali yan. Hindi ka ginaganyan. Hindi dapat ganun. Kasi mauuna ng bata, di ba? Hindi mo ako dapat ginaganyan. Sabi ng nanay ko, ganito, ganyan. No. You need to know. Kailangan marunong sila so that they will have a better life. Development and learning advance when children are challenged to achieve a level just beyond their current mastery and when they have many opportunities to practice newly acquired skill. Now, as for this one, learning is very important. Kasi when you achieve learning, this is the reason why, why not all educators are happy when the President of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Duterte, said no assignment policy. Bakit? Kasi, for example, let's have the math teachers muna dito. Sorry kung math, kasi usually yung sa inyo kasi yung skill that they need to practice, the numbers lang. Today, we will discuss addition. Ayan na, grade 1. Kasi sometimes baka, okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2. Blah, blah, pula, po, ganun. So, for example, that one. Are you sure that if you did not give an assignment, babasahin niya ng bata? Hindi. Especially if the parents of the kids, hindi sila yung tutok. O kaya walang tutor na it will help the kids. Or for example, walang guidance. Or walang alam yung magulang sa topic. Of course not. Why do you have assignments? We have assignments so that today we will do this. And at our home, we will practice. And then we will have another the following day, practice. Kasi practice makes perfect. But nobody's perfect, so why practice? But rather, it eliminates the mistake that you will have. Kasi kunwari ngayon, kagaya niyan, after nito tapos na tayo. Ano na after? Ano na gagawin nyo? Wala na. Makakalimutan nyo na to. Not unless you will be needing this. And sa inyo kasi, sa elementary, Skill, basic knowledge kasi yon. That's why you need to learn. They need to know how to do it. Kasi they will use that. The things that you will learn in elementary are just very important that you will learn for high school. And yung malalaman nyo sa high school, important. Kahit sabihin mo na, ma'am, di naman po kami mag-aano ng triangle. Bakit po kailangan niya pinag-aaralan? Bakit po kailangan binabalanse pa yung mga chemical? Ano bang pakialam namin doon? Eh, wala na. Eh, kasi, they still don't know. Why? Why do they need to know that? Kasi pag pinabigyan natin sila ng assignment or we are practicing them little by little, pahirap ng pahirap, their challenge, unti-unti, step by step, ganito kailangan. And they need to know bakit nga ba kailangan yung gawin yon. So that's the student, so that they will master the subject, you need to add, oh, the reason why you need to do this is because of this, because that, ganyan. Yun yung sa number 12. The motivation. I know that some of you, I don't know why you're a math major or science major, but you may have a different motivation. One of which maybe is because of your teachers. But the thing is, you need to motivate your students in what way? You need to know, bakit ba namin kailangan maintindihan yung science at math na yan? Sa math, o sige, ma, marunong na ako magbilang eh. Yun lang naman kailangan, di ba? Magbilang, mag-add, yung ano, PEMDAS. Yun lang naman eh. Bakit kailangan mo ituro sa amin yung circle? Bakit kailangan namin rectangle? So you need to have applications talaga so that the students could understand. Motivate them. Very important. Science. Ma'am, bakit ba kailangan namin malaman yun? Eh, ang gusto lang naman namin, biology. Tsaka hindi naman kami magiging doktor. Hindi naman kami magiging ganito. Hindi naman kami magiging ganiyan. So you need to learn. Kaya ang hanapan nyo. One of the best motivation, aside from yourself, kapalik tayo sa inyo, good grooming is very important. Kailangan maayos ka. Kung hindi ka kagandahan, kailangan maaliwalas ka. And very motivating. That's part of the motivation of the students eh. As well as, why do they need to learn from you? Ano ang mapapala nila? Kayo nga eh. Pag wala kayong mapapala, hindi naman kayo nagpa-participate. So same with the children as well. The things that you're doing right now, yung mga kalokohan nyo, will be done to you worse by your students. That's why, they need to, alam mo dapat why. Why do you need to do this? Bakit ganito? Bakit ganyan? Next, let's have, growth is an evidence of light. Quote that we could reflect on is, growth is an evidence of light. Okay? Now, let's have a short recitation. Now, you test your understanding on the chat box. Type C if the statement is correct. Now, before you answer, now, some of you, hindi kayang mag-type. So, what you could do is, pwede kayo magsulat. Sulat nyo yung answer sa papel. Tapos, picturean ninyo. I-send nyo sa GC. I-send nyo pala sa chat box natin ngayon. Okay? Okay, so I'll be giving you 5 minutes to answer this one, then we will proceed. So 11:52 sa akin, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. 11:58, I will reveal the answers and then make sure that 11:58 nakalagay na lahat ng answers ninyo so that we could check. The class manager won't have a problem, okay? 4 more minutes. Last minute. Okay, so sorry, nawala ako. Okay. It's already 11:58, so I'll guess that's the end. Okay. Let's reveal the final answer. Wait. I hope that you could see. Can you see my PowerPoint presentation? Sorry, nawala eh.
Yes po.
Yes.
Yes po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So the correct answer is 1 and 2 C. Development is a pattern of change and development is either growth or decline. The rest is not correct. So I hope you got 5 points for your recitation for this one. Let's have the unit 2. Malapit na tayo. Don't worry. You only have 34 little bit slides. Now, there are different stages of development from infancy, middle childhood, adolescence, early childhood, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and later maturity. So now, what are the different things that you will expect in an infancy and early childhood? It's from 0 or conception to 5 years old. This is where you learn to walk, you learn to talk, you're trying little of solid foods, learning to control the elimination of body waste. So you learn how to poop, your potty, ayan, potty training, ayan. and learning sex difference and sexual modesty. So as you can see with this one, little by little magtatanong yung mga bata dyan, the children will ask you, ano yan? Bakit ganyan? Parang I remember one of the artists, ano si Thor ata yun? I don't know if that's Chris Hemsworth. I don't know. But one of the artists said that his daughter said, since she's the only one, and the only daughter, and then he has brother, sabi niya, I want that. I want penis. Sabi ganun. Kasi nga, she's the only one who's left behind because wala siya. And she still don't know what's the meaning of that. Sabi nga, what's a penis? Parang ganun, you still don't know. But actually, that is the first time that, okay, yun pala yun. Ganyan pala yun. Ay, ganyan pala yun. So that's one. Um, Acquiring concepts of and language to describe social and physical reality. This is the time when we tell them, this is a ball. This is a ball. Ayan, nakita. So lahat, since this is the first time that she heard, everything that is round, she thought it's a ball. Hanggang sa nakakita siya ng kalbo, ball. Di ba? May ganong meme eh. It's funny, but actually, it's true. Because whatever every time na nakakita sila ng ball kasi kala nila bilog, 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 bilog. So, ball. But it's not. Of course, we are here adults to help. No, that's not a ball. That is daddy. Parang ganun, di ba? It's fun. And sometimes, readiness for reading. That's the reason why. Ito nawala to sa marami sa atin. Readiness for reading dapat so that the student, why do you think people, it's hard for some people to read? Kasi when they were younger, and not unless they were given a chance, and they are really really a bookworm. There are some people during this time kasi, imagine when you are biglang bibigyan ka ng boom, ito yung isang libro, di ba? It's hard. What you could do dapat sana is little by little, tinuturuan mo sila using the picture books. Like for example, okay, anak, let us, brothers or sisters, let's read. I will read a book to you. So, nakahiga si Banem. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess in a faraway land. So, di ba? You're exciting them. So, they would see the subtitles, the written words there. Once upon a time. Okay, so nare-recognize nila yon, and also their imagination plus the picture that they are having, it's very fun to them. So you should engage them in reading. Kasi pag puro iPad, kunwari nakaganyan ka lagi, ganyan, parang ang hirap. Iba yung talagang you will read for them. Before, walang murang books, but now, I actually bought 10 pieces ng libro na picture books, for just 200 pesos plus shipping fee na yon. I guess compared to before na ang mahal talaga ng libro, 100 each. And now, may mura na. May mga iba pa yung mga books, pwede ka maghanap, especially if you have a child. You try to look for different materials that you could use. Yung mga may soft, yung, I don't know if familiar with Despicable Me, yung first time nilang naging foster parent si Gru, meron siyang yung The Kittens, yung may mga ginaganon-ganon. Okay, so it's really fun. Next is learning to distinguish right from wrong. So developing a conscience. These kids, technically, they don't know what is right and what's wrong. That's why we're here as an adult to teach our kids. For example, sinampa, akin to, sabi niya. Sabi niya sa kanyang kuya, this is mine. I want this. Hinagawan niya yung kuya niya. But the kuya niya na bata din is na-shook siya kasi nagaw yung pagkain niya. Now, many parents, ang sasabihin nila, hayaan mo na anak, bata naman eh. No, it's not like that. Hindi dapat ganun. Kasi mafe-feel ng kuya, nagawan siya. And it will only make parang jealousy sa pamilya. So what you could do, pwede mo sabihin sa bata, anak, hayaan na natin muna, tuluan natin si baby how to share. Baby, you should not do that. How about kuya? How about him? What will he eat? Isa lang yung burger mo. Dapat share kayo kasi that is your brother. You should share. Hindi ka dapat nang aagaw. O kaya nanakit. Di ba? Minsan mga bata nangahampas. Anak, dapat meron konting, bad yon. Pero hindi naman malakas, Hindi naman iba, hinagis yung bata. Hindi ganun. Bad yun. You should not throw things because masisira siya. And what will you use pag wala na? O, di ba, iko-konsensya mo yung bata. Hindi dapat palo. Kulang kasi yung palo lang eh. Kung hindi rin naman maganda yung hayaan mo na. Kasi register dun sa kapatid or sa kanya na lagi akong pinagbibigyan. Lagi niyo akong pinagbibigyan ha. Sige, iiyak lang ako. Gagawin ko lahat. Tapos ano mangyayari? Kapag after ng 5, tsaka mo pinalo, nung 6 years old na, di masama na loob sa'yo. Kasi, all this time, pinagbibigyan niyo ako, tapos ngayon, di na. Okay, so di ba, it will only create problems. So, it's better na you try and learn to correct them. Now, 6 to 12 years old, learning physical skills necessary for ordinary games. So, little by little with this time, you could help them inject mga, ano yung pwede natin gawin, activities, ayan, for mga habulan, kasi hindi pa sila marunong, madadapa-dapa pa sila eh. So, we need to let them, what are the different things that they need to know when they play with others, building wholesome attitude towards self, learning to get along with age mates, they need to learn how to get along. I remember when I was a kid, my mother said that I don't get along with kids. Okay, that's true. I remember that. Meron akong kinakalmot. Hindi ako okay na playmate. Kasi only child ako. So, meron daw akong kinakalmot, kinakagat. So, as a parent, what she did, kailangan niya akong suwituhin. Kasi hindi pwede na pag lumaki ka, nangangagat ka, di ba? Hindi pwede na masusunod yung gusto mo. So, little by little, they should learn how to play with age mates. Learning appropriate sex role. Now, my dear students, I'm not telling na, okay, babae ka, babae ka. Siyempre, as of the moment, we are now considering all of the genders here. And we can't do anything about it. Kahit sabihin mo, babae ka, hindi ka tibo, hindi ka bi, walang ganon. They still don't know the concept of that yet. But what you could do is maybe instead of sex role or ano natin, okay, so anak, you should know how to clean your private parts. Ito ha, anak, this is a problem with many people. They are undressing their kids. Kahit na age, of course, yung 12, hindi mo na i-undress yung anak mo. But even if they're still a baby, kung pagpapalit ka ng damit, diaper, and sort of, wag yung sa public. This is a problem. Kailangan they need to learn na when you dress up, you should not go and do it sa public. You should do it in your room, in the proper places. Kasi what happened, nakaka-invite, kasi yung bata wala silang alam sa ganyan. They don't have the concept of mababastos. Maaga ganon, yung mga, basta, they don't have that kind of concept. So as a teacher, as a parent, or as a brother or sister, you need to teach them, anak, wag kang magbibihis sa harap ng iba, kay mami lang. Lalo na kung ikaw yung nag-aalaga. Kay mami lang. Kahit kay daddy, kahit kay kuya, hindi ka dapat nagbibihis. Kasi hindi siya okay. You should know how to protect yourself. Yun, sa ganung part nyo, iyan yung sa sex role. Okay, for example, anak, even if you are a man, you should know how to clean the house. You should know how to maintain. Lahat kayo marunong magluto, little by little, ganon. So, yun. Developing fundamental skills in reading, writing, and calculating. Kaya nga, 6 to 12 years old is very important for them to learn elementary. Kaya napaka-vital nitong elementary. Kaya sana talaga dapat may assignment sila. Kaya lang, ayaw naman ng ating government, especially sa public school. But as a future parent, we need to help them learn these things. Kahit walang assignment, dapat tinuturuan natin, especially your subject, math and science. Napaka-importante niyan. And English, my subject as well. They need to learn how to draw. They need to learn how to write, how to compute. Kasi that will be necessary for the rest of their life. So, developing concept necessary for everyday living. This time, you are injecting household chores. Now, by 6 years old, kailangan marunong na siya magpunas ng table. Anak, punas mo ng table. Punas, pagkakain natin, punas. Walis, anak, magwawalis ka. Magsaing, anak. Little prito, ganito, ganyan. Maglaba, dapat ganito. Making of your bed. So, dapat, they would know how to do it. Hindi pwedeng nakaasa sa katulong kasi it will be very hard for them if they will live on their own. Remember this, kahit may katulong kayo all through your life, what if you start living alone? Like for example, nagpunta kayo ng abroad, tapos dun mo pala, imaginein mo yung hirap pag wala kang alam doon. Like, you will go to different place, naging ano ka, naging scholar ka, naging ano ka sa abroad and whatsoever. Tapos ikaw, hindi mo alam. And iyak na iyak ka na kasi parang kasabay pa nung pinaproblema mo about your day, your living, your job, is how to do these different chores. Kailangan you could do it. Okay? And of course, achieving personal independence. Dapat the kids should already know how to dress up. I remember there are other people, I have cousins na pinagpe-prepare pa sila ng nanay nila ng damit. Diyos ko, 12 years old na. They need to learn how to prepare their kids. Bakit wala kang toothbrush? Lalabas tayo. Yung mga ganon. So little by little, socks. You need to clean the shoes and everything. So kasama yun. Developing acceptable attitudes towards society. This one, I'm not saying na you will lose yourself for the society. But rather, with this part, kailangan natututo ka na ano ba yung tama, baka mamaya nakakasakit ka. Puro nakakasakit ka lang, hindi mo na inintindi yung iba. So, is it okay na magwala? Hindi. Is it okay na sabihin mo yung nasa isip mo without filtering? Hindi, mali yun. Kasi I know that we all know that we need to be honest. But of course, the way we deliver different things, hindi dapat basta-basta. Because number one, we need to consider, sino ba kausap mo? Is that your boss? Sagot-sagutin mo, edi kung tinanggal ka niya sa trabaho. Okay. Diba? So, those are the different things we need to develop when we were young. Next, adolescence. This one. Achieving mature relationships with both sexes. Achieving masculine and feminine social role. Accepting one's physique. Kasi during the 13 and 18 years old, wala pa kasi kayong pera niyan eh. I have to admit, you are still with your parents' salary. So, for example, madami kayo or you're not well off with other people, hindi kayo you could not have all of the things that they have. Pwede kayong, this time, medyo mataba kayo. And for you, ang pagiging mataba is not okay. Well, for example, this also, little by little, nag-iiba yung, yung girls, nagkakaroon ng chest, lumalaki ang boobs. How do you deal with that? You need assistance of your parents. Hindi naman kasi yan na dapat tabo. Like, for example, your body is, that's your own. And you should know how to take care of it. Like, for example, anak, medyo nagkakaanghit ka na. Hindi naman maganda yung amoy mo. Kasi kasama yun sa hormonal eh. Dun sa hormones nyo, may male or female. Anak, tinutubuan ka na. Okay. Sorry for the term, pero anak, bulbulin ka na. Ginagamit kasi ng Filipino yon ha? That's what we use. Okay. So I remember my mom sabi, bulbul. Oh, yak. So I also asked some of my colleagues, isa ginaganon sila ng parents nila during the teenage years. So you need to know how to protect yourself. You need to learn. And in 13 to 18 years old, nagkaka-menstruation na yung babae. So a little bit of family planning dapat nandito na. Kasi nagkaka-mens na sila. Pwede na silang mabuntis. And they need the support of the parent. Like for example, anak, hindi maganda na mabuntis ka ng maaga because of this. Baka kasi may pangarap ka. And it will be very hard for you to achieve your goals. And hindi natin kailangan financially. For example, hindi naman tayo mayaman. And pag nabuntis ka anak, hindi natin kaya na pag-aralin ka, mahihinto ka. Not unless nagtatrabaho ka while by having the baby. So, and of course, your life will change. Lalo na pag nagkakaroon na ng relationship ang mga bata. Kasi ngayon, yung 13 years old, na totoo lang, lagi nilang sinasabi, ano ba yan, malandi ka, 13 pa lang, nag-ano ka na. Let's go back. Noong time na hindi naman nag-aaral ang babae. Anong age? You will go back to the different literatures. 14 years old, nag-aasawa na sila. They are assuming that they will become a parent na during this age. That's why, technically, yung body natin, ano yan? Kaya lang nag-aaral tayo, nag-K to 12. So, ang kailangan natin is matapos ng pag-aaral. However, sometimes, hindi na ng body. Because we cannot blame the decision. Malandi kasi yan bata pa lang. Bakit siya naging ganon? It has something to do with growing up. Maybe when she was younger, she didn't get the attentions that she had. And we cannot blame her. Kasi maybe that's the most important thing to her. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, hindi yan ang importante. Ang importante, makaganito ka, ganyan, ganyan. So, it's easy to say, but maybe ang feel niya ay worthless, walang kwenta. And even if you tell the hindi ganon, ganon yung nararamdaman niya eh. So, that's why some of them, pumapasok sila sa isang relationship. Marami na pumapasok sa relationship are those na mahigpit yung parent, pangit yung relationship ng parents, family problems. So, doon nagkakaroon. Kaya sila pumapasok sa relationship. Kasi, yung lacking sa kanila, ang tao kasi, lahat ng lacking, hahanapin niya sa ibang tao. Ang mahirap, alam niyo, ang mahirap pumasok ng isang relationship, yung sobrang saya ng family, yung may mga brothers and sisters na sobrang close. Kasi, tataas yung standard mo. Hindi mo kailangan ng ibang tao. You're happy. But to some people, parang they are seen. Parang feeling kasi nila pag ay nakita niya ako. Nakita niya ako. Parang of all people, nakita ako ng taong to. That's why, nagkakaroon. That's why, as an adult, we need to guide the students. We need to guide our kids na, uy, ganito, ganyan. They need to know. They need to be well informed. Because we're preparing them for marriage and family life. Preparing for the economic career. So, you need to have a financial literacy by this age. Dapat marunong kayo mag-ipon, marunong kayo mag-invest, which hindi nagagawa. Hindi natin nagagawa. Late ko na rin nalaman yung sa pag-iipon. Marunong ko mag-ipon, but yung investment is another thing. Business-mindedness, acquire values and ethical system to good behavior. So, kailangan refine na yung values nyo dito because you're starting your career little by little. Diba? 18 years old, nag-senior high na kayo. Why did you choose this? Bakit kayo nag-STEM? Bakit kayo nag-UMS? Bakit kayo nag-ganito? So, because you are preparing for your career and desiring achieving socially responsible behavior. Early adulthood, 19 to 29. So, eto na. Dito ako. Selecting a mate. Kasi dito yung time na sinasabi nila na, uy, dapat nag-asawa ka na. Uy, dapat mag-anak ka na kasi biologically, mahihirapan kang mabuntes after 29. Learning to live with a partner. So, just imagine. One tip, ang hirap ng ganitong age. Yung age 20, I am actually 27 years old, turning 28. Kasi, you have already managed to grow yung kung anong meron ka. And then suddenly, may it be financial status, may it be career-wise, may it be educational backgrounds, may it be anything that you have, or emotional, or Tapos, from being this circle, you will select a mate. It's really hard. Kasi, yung mga iba na, for example, yung boyfriend mo before when you were studying, kasi it happens, growing apart happens. Some of you na magjowa ngayon, pwede na pagka-graduate yun, hindi na kayo magjowa. Not because naging mayabang yung isa, but because you will grow to different paths. Magkakaroon kayo ng ibang change. Mag-iiba kayo ng thinking. May ibang tao sa inyo, I need to be frank to you. Yung ibang tao sa inyo, ang thinking niyan para magiging straight. Career, business, ganon. May iba sa inyo na mag-i-stay. I'm sorry, but some of you will stay the same. Na hindi sila mag-grow or hindi pa agad. Na more on, nagkatrabaho na ako, gagastusin ko yung pera ko. More on about gadgets, more on about this. May ganon. But may iba sa inyo, magugulat kayo, unti-unti magkaka-business. May mga ganon. So sometimes, in a relationship, yun mahirap. So just imagine if you're already 28 years old. This is actually one of my crises 28 years old ka na. Tapos, the things around you, the partners, so assuming partners that you have are, some of them are immature. Some of them are already taken. Okay, problema. And some of them have a lifestyle that you cannot afford. Parang gano'n, parang sabi, kahit may pera ka, parang what the hell? But parang gano'n. Or some of them masyado ng mayabang. Some of them are gano'n. Basta maraming reasons. Now, when you're selecting a partner, especially if you're already an established person, establish mo na yung sarili mo, magpapasakop ka. Or magiging gitna kayo. You will become from this one individual to a big circle. Which of course, entails dyan lahat ng culture, background, and everything. Lahat yan i-imagine mo yung family niyo. Just for example, your salary nowadays is 50,000. Tapos ang salary niya is 20,000. So, and then he is a breadwinner. So, lahat yun, miikot. So now, yung salary mo na ginagamit mo sa sarili mo, sa business mo and everything, i-share mo sa kanya and i-share mo sa family. So, it's really hard. Early adulthood is really hard. And you cannot say, pabayaan mo yung family mo. Of course not. It's part of who you are. So, maraming pwedeng mangyari. So, learning to live with a partner, I know when you were a kid, parang, siguro kayo na, parang you imagine, wow, ang pogi ng boyfriend ko. I'm so happy with him. Ang bango-bango niya, ganun. Pero, pag nag-isip siya, like for example, nandun na kayo, nag-iisip na kayo na about your future. Ano ka ba? Wala kami lang maisip. Ito na lang tayo. Parang gano'n. So, starting a family, rearing a children. Yung iba sa inyo, magkaiba kayo ng ways on how to rear a children. Some of you, how to rear a children, ganito gusto mo disciplinarian. Some of you, gusto niya chill-chill lang. I have a parent, hindi ko parent, a parent ng student ko, yung isa sobrang disciplinarian, yung isa chill-chill lang. Naghiwalay sila. Kasi, hindi sila nagtutugma. Imagine, naghiwalay sila dahil doon. Kasi yung nanay gusto niya, yung anak niya, ay lumaki nung kung paano siya lumaki. Tapos yung tatay sabi niya, makabagong panahon na. So, imbis na magsama sila and i-merge nila yung ideas nila, nag-alsabalutan sila at naghiwalay sila. That's a different thing. Starting an occupation with this one, 19 to 29, some of you, as I have said earlier, will be in a different position and a civic responsibility. 30 to 60, since sana nakatapos, this one, kayo na yung magiging boss. That's why you're helping other people to cultivate elder children. Achieving adult social and civic responsibility, you supposedly have a satisfactory career achievement na kasi 60 years old ka na, pa-retire ka na yan eh. Developing a leisure time activities like for example, before when you were a kid, more on party, party, party. But this one, as you grow older, you will realize meron pa pala ikaw gusto. Iba pala ang gusto mo. You need to have different activities, different leisure. Kaya nga 'di ba may iba nag-golf? So kasi it's the golf kasi is for it's about the mind, strength and everything. And many people, especially if you will be with this entitled people as well, kailangan 'yon, parang linkages as well. Relating to one spouse as a person, accepting the physiological changes of middle age sa mga lalaki. One of the problems that I know sa inyo is your prostate. I know that's a problem. Dalas niyan sa mga commercial. Kasi before, if you're very, very active, now you cannot even stand. Problem yun eh. And as a male, that one is actually very hard for them. Mahirap pag-usapan yon kasi nalungkot sila eh. Yan ang pinaka, ano nila talaga. And as a woman, it's different for the women. Yung wrinkles, mas affected kasi ang women sa ganyan. Yan, yung mga wrinkles, naglalabasan na, their skin is not, it's bagsak na, pumapayat na sila, lumiliit na sila. So, those are different physiological changes inside and outside the body because of middle age ay lumalabas na. So, we need to deal with that. And adjusting to aging parent. So, as a 30 years old, matanda yung magulang mo, tumatanda din yung magulang mo. So that will be another responsibility for you. Of course, you need to assume that because while you're growing up, your parents are there for you. This time, you will be there for them. And last one, late maturity is 61 and over. Retiree na to. Adjusting to decreasing strength. So dati, kayang-kaya mong magtatakbo. Ngayon, hingal na hingal ka na. Retirement and reduced income from before, some of you na hindi nag-SSS, lalo na pag nag-private ka, 100,000 yung sahod mo dati. Kaso ngayon, na SSS mo, ang pinakamalaking sahod mo na lang is 20,000. Tapos wala kang business. Adjusting to retirement or reduced income, adjusting to death of spouse. So one of you, of course, not unless it will be, one of you will die first. Meeting social civic obligation and establishing satisfactory living quarters. Now, things to reflect on. K to 12 after senior high school, college, almost 18 years of existence, you are different teachers. Would you say the teachers brought a big impact? I was about to ask you this, kaya lang magto 2 hours na tayo, kaya wag na. I know that the teachers brought a huge impact to you. Some of you, because of their teachers, umokay sila. Some of you became a teacher because of their teachers. So you have your different impacts. I know that. Now, from your understanding, let's have test your understanding on the chat box. Type C if the statement is correct. So, I'll give you another 5 minutes. So 12, 24 ngayon, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 12:30. Finish or not finish, we shall reveal the scores. Type your answer. Same tayo. 12:30. After nun, we're already done. Last 2 minutes. Okay, so let's reveal the answers. O, di ba sabi ko, madali lang naman. So the answer is C. Okay. Number 1, number 3, and C. The rest, we don't have anything. Okay. So next meeting, we will have a quiz and lecture number 2. So you have next week as your free time. It's up to you. Please work on your project, on review, or whatsoever. I'll be uploading the PowerPoint presentation later. Well, I think Friday ko siya i-upload kasi the reason why it's Friday kasi baka kasi mag-leak yung some of the answers. So, yon, next meeting, quiz and lecture number 2. Topics for next meeting, yung Unit 2, Part 2, and Part 2, Unit 1. So, yun lang. I hope that you're doing well, doing fine, and doing all right. If you have questions, please let me know. But if not, um, I think let's have a picture first. Everyone, please turn on your camera. Nasa na ang ating class monitor?